when I'm 55. And then I'll start doing old people stuff. Good morning.
Hello, good people of Astrocade.
Welcome. How's the
How's
day,
everyone?
Alex?
How's Noxic doing today? It's a very efficient greeting.
Excellent. So if I don't have my other half here, it doesn't appear.
Oh, you know what? It's so funny. We have such a theme here. I saw Jaeger's uh, avatar, and it just gave me more Toxic vibes. So I figured somewhere in there we must have Toxic and Nox. But you're right. We're missing your other half.
There he is. I see him.
There he is. Speaking of
Hello.
speaking of the French Canadian devil.
Hello.
Good day, good sir.
Hockey, hockey, hockey.
How are you guys doing? How's Jaeger? How's Pika?
Good, Alex. Good.
We've got quite the team.
Is Monvi coming today? Erica
She
wants to
should
know.
be. She should be on. She mentioned earlier today, just as always, how much she just generally dislikes you guys and doesn't appreciate you. And I was always like, Monvi, come on, they're our users. They're the best. And she had a bunch of really negative things to say. But she might show up in a few minutes. In which case, you should treat her accordingly.
Absolutely.
Okay,
We
good to hear.
appreciate your honesty, Alex. We appreciate your honesty.
So first of all, guys, we have a very exciting announcement, which is thanks to the hard work of Noxic, and Pika, there may actually be a bit of an organizational plan today. I know that's very unusual. I know that the trademark of office hours is that it's just a hot mess. It's just garbage flipping end over end, and that's the charm. I think that's why you guys come back. But today we're going to try something a little bit different, which is what if we actually know what we're doing? So our illustrious team of helpers and faculty members have actually identified like a nicely balanced list of games to play and to play test. So hopefully this will feel like we're giving Astro Academy students attention, but also giving other people a chance to play test. So we're going to see how it goes. Um, it's a fair question. I think Knox woke up today and he chose organizational violence. He said, I'm going to ruin office hours by making it grown up and professional. And we all tried to stop him. So hopefully today will feel a little bit more organized. Before that, I want to jump in and do what we have been doing for most of the days of Astro Academy this season, which is doing a little mini lecture on one of the lessons, and then maybe doing a little bit of Q&A about it, and then we will get to the playtest session, hopefully with the actual organizational benefits that I just mentioned. So if that sounds good, I'll jump in. If not, if there's any top of the mind orders of business to get to first, let me know. You know what's funny is we have this really lopsided experience of like a little bit of voice and a lot of chat. And so it's like bold statement followed by crickets.
I try not to interrupt too much. So if I have something to say, I usually try to type it if I can't get an interruption. And so I try to limit my interruptions to, one every 5 minutes or so.
See, that's the mistake you're making, Toxic. One of my I think interruptions are my love language. I show people that I care about them by talking over them and never listening. My suggestion is adopt at least a little bit of that. Adopt or die. Adapt or die?
Adopt or
Oh,
die?
well,
Hey,
look who's here.
Manvi. Hello,
Don't worry,
miss.
don't worry, Monty. I hyped you up before you showed up, so everyone's
Sure.
very excited to see
Manvi, why do you hate us?
Oh
you.
no.
I'm joking.
What? What is this
That's
hype?
what.
Uh-oh.
Guys, don't listen to him, okay? He's a hater. He's a Manvi hater, actually.
I was saying
Uh,
that interruptions are my love language, but I think hate is my
that's
love
true.
language. Hate language is my love language.
Yeah, hating, interrupting, all the no-nos, kids.
Exactly. I only hate the people I love. So I see more comments that I talk too fast. You know what's funny? I've been getting that my whole life, and I've been getting that from native English speakers. So all of you non-native English speakers, my sympathy is with you. Um, I'm deeply apologetic. I probably won't slow down. I've been trying to slow down since I was like 8. It's not working. But I will make more of an effort to not rap through the entire session unless Pika gives me like a sick beat, then all bets are off. But as long as it's a cappella, I will try to slow it down.
That's funny.
All right. No, my rap name is not Axel. My real name is Axel. Everyone knows that. Okay, so DJam makes a very good point. This is exactly what my fellow Astro Academy faculty members have been trying to tell me. I don't listen. Again, not listening is my love language. But there's some consensus that it sounds like some of you would appreciate some time during office hours to remain for non-Astro Academy students. And first of all, if DJam is among the people that are looking for attention, then clearly we're doing something wrong because obviously everybody wants to see the latest DJam game. So that's a good point. That is why we're trying to do a little bit more of a balance today. So people that have joined Astro Academy will definitely get the attention that I think we owe them because we want people to pay attention to Astro Academy, learn everything they can, blah, 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 put work into it. But that doesn't mean that everyone else should be ignored. So we're going for a balance today. I guess Pika and Toxic and Nox, what do you guys think? We've got a little bit of a pre-made list that is meant to kind of balance those two things. How do we want to include the Submit Your Game channel in that? Because other people should also probably get a chance. You guys have any thoughts?
I think we should go down the first of the academy first, so they go straight into office hours.
Okay. How about that? Let's do that. Let me try to do two things at once. I'm going to try to cover our little lesson lecture quickly, but without speaking quickly. Let's see if I can do it. You guys try to keep me honest. And then once that's done, then we'll get into the office hours plan that Toxic just mentioned. All right, 1 second. So today we are gonna do a little bit of a, hopefully not speed run, hopefully just a overview, let's call it, of lesson 5. So for anyone that's not on lesson 5 yet, lesson 5 covers how to turn your core game mechanic into a full game. So the core game mechanic is one of the biggest ideas that Astro Academy tries to explain to new creators, because it's really easy to think about a game as just this one big, huge thing. And if you're new to creating games, you might not be good at breaking down what games are actually made of. And if you can't break it down, it becomes hard to make it yourself because you don't know where to start. You don't know which details are most important. Fortunately, though, even complex games, even AAA games, usually have a really clear core game mechanic. You know, we talked last week about, like, what is the core game mechanic of Grand Theft Auto? That's about as big and complex and AAA as games get. And yet at the heart of that game, there's still some basic actions that you just do over and over and over. It could be running around and shooting. It could be stealing cars, whatever. But that's the core game mechanic. But of course, the game mechanic, even though it's super important and it's kind of the heart of any good game, it's not the whole game, right? So the question is, how do you build the rest of the game around that? So I'll gloss over this because it's a lot of text. Of course, we're not going to read it together, but the general idea is that games have both a core loop, which is that core mechanic over and over, shooting, building, collecting, whatever. And then they have what's called the meta loop, or sometimes just called the meta, which is basically everything happening around that core loop. So, for example, the core loop is what the player does from moment to moment. So again, that if it's a match 3, it's matching. If it's a merge game, it's merging. The meta loop are like longer term goals and then the way the gameplay changes over time. So say, for instance, I'm playing a merge game and my main action is just swapping and dragging and merging, doing all the merge itself. But then say whenever I get a certain level merge, I earn some kind of currency, right? Over time, what I spend that currency on and how things change because of that spending, that's part of the meta loop, right? So another way to think about it is that the core loop is what and the meta loop is why. The core loop is what you're doing, and the meta loop is why you're doing it. It's what it's all going towards, bigger picture. Here's some quick examples. Let's take a game like Diablo, action RPG. The core loop is basically the simple actions. Find a monster, attack the monster, kill the monster, and collect the loot. Collect the loot. That creates this loop. You just do this over and over and over. You run into a new dungeon, you find new monsters, attack them, kill them, and collect whatever they drop. But the meta loop is using that collected loot to craft better armor, to be able to face harder bosses, uncover the next chapter of the story, et cetera, et cetera. And in this lesson, you'll see examples of a few different kinds of games, right? So the way they work together is that basically the player engages in the core loop to earn stuff. The meta loop allows them to then use or apply what they've earned. And then that feeds back into the core loop so that, like in the example of Diablo, even though you keep doing the same thing, you keep attacking monsters, collecting loot, the kind of monsters you're facing get bigger and scarier. The weapons you use to attack them get better and better, and the loot they drop gets better. So even though the core loop doesn't change in terms of the actions, the content and the details progress because of the meta loop. So before I move on, does this make sense?
Makes
Yeah.
sense to me.
A lot of fun gifts in the chat right now.
Yeah, I'm catching up on it. There's nothing that makes my heart swell, guys, like doing a long lecture and then realizing, oh yeah, everyone's just gifting at each other all day. I love it. No, I love it. It's awesome. Cool. All right. So that's the gist of core loop and meta loop. So now let's talk a little bit about what a meta loop actually is, because another way to think of the meta loop, which is a very technical sounding term, is a much simpler thought, which is just progression. It's just where is your game going over time? Because no matter how much fun your core loop is, if nothing changes, people aren't going to play it for very long. And you don't need someone to play your game for hours necessarily, but it's probably better for them to play it for 5 or 10 minutes than for 30 seconds, right? So even a really simple, really casual game needs some kind of progression. So the basic kind of think of them as different forms of progression that you should probably think about, and your game may not need all of them, but it's good to just go over it in your mind, is progression in terms of difficulty, progression in terms of complexity, progression in terms of variety, and then progression in terms of like purchases and upgrade opportunity. So the most obvious one is that however hard your game is when it starts, it should of course get harder over time. That's how pretty much every game works. And then related to difficulty is complexity. They're not the same thing, but they're similar. So if your task is very simple at the beginning of the game, like in the beginning of the game, I have to maintain one spinning plate, right? I just have to keep it spinning by tapping or something. As the game gets more complicated, I may have more spinning plates. I'm making up just a random example. Or if it's like a farming sim, when the game starts, I have one type of crop. But as the game progresses, I may eventually have 20 different types of crops in a huge farm. And it'd be really weird if the game started that way because it would be overwhelming. But it would also be weird if it never changed and never got closer to that level of complexity because then the player gets bored. Variety is a little bit different. This is one that's easy to forget because I think naturally when we make a game, we think, okay, the game has to get harder over time. But it's easy to forget that like what the game looks like or what the game feels like, whether it's backgrounds or colors or just the variety of things you're seeing, that has to change too. Because you can design the most beautiful environment and the greatest enemies and the greatest weapons, but if 10 minutes later they haven't changed, I'm going to get bored. So some of this progression is not even really about the game. It's just about the atmosphere and the vibe because, you know, we all tend to get lulled into things. And when they don't change after a while, it like puts us to sleep basically. Then the last one, and there's more than this, but these are kind of the big four. The last one is just, again, if you have currency, if you can upgrade stuff, your upgrade path should be deep enough that you can keep playing for a while before you hit the end of it. So if you have like a gun that you're running around shooting stuff with, you know, having at least a good 5 levels of upgrades for that gun or the projectile, it's probably a pretty good start. But if you only have 1 or 2, again, it's going to get old after a while. So those are kind of the levels of progression that you should think about. And there may be more. Your game may have some very unique thing that I haven't thought of, and that is how your game progresses, and that's fine, but there's got to be something. If nothing changes in your game, that's usually a pretty bad sign. But this has come up a lot over the last week, and it's good to finally formally talk about it. One of the greatest ways to start your game, especially for making kind of a casual game, is what we call the guaranteed win. The guaranteed win basically means the first thing the player does when the game starts is do something that makes them feel like they've achieved something almost instantaneously. So like I made this match 3 game a while ago, and the first thing you do is it finds a match that is almost ready to happen, like it's 1 move away, and it highlights it for the player and says, move these 2 tiles, and then you get your first match immediately. And the reason this is good is there's kind of 2 things. One, I call it good vibes, which is just give them a good feeling at the start of your game, like, hey, I already won something. That's cool. But the other reason is it teaches them something. Because in this example, the match 3, yes, you get your first match, but you also go through the action of swiping. So you learn how to play the game while feeling good about yourself, which is like a great start. Then I can throw all sorts of challenges to the player, but they feel like they know what they're doing and they don't feel like losers, so it's okay to challenge them a bit. But that guaranteed win is a really important first step. And then one more detail on progression. There's a lot in this lesson that I would recommend reading because it gets into like numbers a little bit. But the kind of intuitive way to think about it, and this has also come up over the last week, is what's often called the sawtooth, and it's good to finally show it to you guys visually. So just imagine these numbers represent a very generic level of difficulty. So the game starts at difficulty level 1, right? And over time, it progresses 1, 2, eventually gets to level 3. So it's 3 times harder. Well, the idea of the sawtooth is don't just keep going. Don't go from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 because that's going to burn out the player. Instead, once you get to say level 3, step back a little bit and then go back to level 2 because it's like a cooldown. It's like a reward. Like, hey, you did a great job going 3x the difficulty level. So here's a bit of a break. Here's like a victory lap, right? And then go from 2 to 3 to 4 and then back to 3 and then 3 to 4 to 5 and then back to, so it's basically 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Now that's one example of how to do it. You can do this kind of progression in any number of ways, but that's a simple way to think about it. And the reason that's so great is it allows the player to keep making progress, but gives them just enough of that breathing room with the victory laps that they don't feel frustrated or burned out. And I think if you have that kind of progression across your game, people will hang with it longer than otherwise. And we didn't make this up, by the way. This is like a standard game design trick. But it's good to see it visually because as you make your own game, you should have a shape like this in mind instead of just randomly adding features.
I'm going to assume that you can tell Astra to exactly do the sawtooth difficulty thing, and it'll tweak it for yourself for the
Pretty
game.
much. Yeah, so the term is out there enough. Generally speaking, if you can kind of Google something or you can find, articles about something, it's a safe bet Astra is going to be roughly familiar with that. So yeah, that's probably a safe bet, but I would throw in a couple extra details. So for instance, if you want to say something like, hey, Astra, let's do a sawtooth difficulty, you might still want to throw in some examples of what exactly that means. And maybe say, let's start here. And maybe at the very end, I want to end here. And then along the way, like give me 4, victory laps or 4 cooldowns or something like that. That's usually the best way to get what you want out of Astra. In other words, here's the high level idea. And here's just a few examples. So I'm crystal clear that we're talking about the same thing. Because if you don't give some details, Astra may know what you mean, but interpret it kind of differently. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Going back to your previous slide. Well, 2 things. First, to follow up what you're saying, I think that it makes perfect sense that you want to be crystal clear with Astra. Or you can roll the dice and decide, you know what? Surprise me. And then you
for
have to
sure.
deal with your consequences.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And honestly, my attitude is simply this. Whatever you're doing, just do it deliberately. So if you want to kind of roll the dice with Astra, that's fine, but just know that's what you're doing. If you
Yeah.
don't want Astra to kind of surprise you, then make sure you throw in the extra details. So I am all for YOLOing it, but
Sure.
but YOLO with care.
Quick question. Previous slide, you talked about upgrades.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, have you seen a difference between games that have upgrades and games that don't have upgrades, how well they do?
I don't know if I've seen that difference per se, but I can tell you that almost all of the successful games I've seen have like a shop or they have, various forms of currency or whatever. And at this point, it's so common that I don't even know for sure that it's required to be successful. I just know that everyone does it. So I don't even know if there are enough people making super simple games to test the theory. But I will say this, our very own Skull Hunter, who's made a bunch of really popular merge games that are, in my opinion, one of the things that makes them so interesting is how simple they are. Like you can see some of them are on Player's Choice right now. There are top games. And those games have no extras. It's just merging, right? There's no currency, there's no shop, there's no upgrade path. So I think technically, if you have like a really just fun core game, I'm going to kind of contradict this whole lesson. In some cases, you can just run with that and people will just get into it. The reason I don't recommend that though is that it's easy to look at it when someone's already done it and say, hey, that worked. But I don't know if I would have predicted that it would have worked in advance. So I don't know if I would suggest that you risk it. I think if you're going to put your work and time and effort into a good core loop, put in a little bit more time and effort, add some upgrades, add some extras, and just do everything you can to kind of guarantee your own game's success. The only exception is every now and then somebody has an idea for a game where they're going for minimalism. They want super stripped down, basics, just one thing. If that's your creative vision, I'm not going to tell you not to do that. You should always follow your vision. But if that's not your vision, then my suggestion is just kind of do what is relatively standard, which is give your game enough depth and enough upgrade path kind of detail that you know that someone that likes your game will have a reason to keep playing it beyond the basics.
I haven't seen a difference yet between shops or leaderboards or things like that, but you're absolutely right about the core gameplay loop. I mean, it doesn't matter at all to have any of those things if your game is not fun.
Well, I will say this. I see the shop and the upgrades and all that so often that part of me and by the way, this is just my guesses, guys. I don't have data for this yet. But one thing I've wondered about is like how often do people even bother? You know what I mean? Like even a really successful game, say you love it. And we could probably actually answer this question. I think Astrocade could put together data, so maybe we should do this. But currently I'm just guessing if you play 10 really good games in a row and you like all of them, how many of those games, as like a hypothetical player, do you also open up the shop and save some currency to buy an upgrade? Like, do you do it for every one of those games, or do you only do it sometimes? And the reason I'm wondering about that is I'm wondering how many games really need it versus how many games are just doing it because every other game is doing it. And I don't even know. Like, for instance, one of my own games is Ragdoll Slingshots. And I was making a game that was meant to be very similar to the Stickman Archer game that had already been very popular. And because I was going for a similar kind of experience, I just basically did a shop like they did. Like I wasn't totally sure I needed it personally, but I saw that another game in that genre did it. So I'm like, well, players might expect it. But I'll be honest, I don't even know if I was that excited about it. I just kind of did it because I thought people would expect it. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes it's sometimes it's just kind of a habit. Actually, someone I would love to get some thoughts on, and maybe we can let her on stage, is Erica. Not only have you made 500 trillion games, but I've noticed most of your games have like a shop or an upgrade. But I'm sure you've made some games that don't have that. And so I'm wondering, have you noticed a difference if you've been paying attention to this thing between games that have upgrades and games that don't?
Yeah, so I have been trying out the shop for some games, and some games I feel like even with shop or upgrades, they don't do as well. Like that cake ball game, you liked it, and I had like some sort of upgrade mechanic in it, but it didn't really do that well. A lot of my games with upgrades and shops don't do well. However, there's a power washer game that I have that has upgrades, and it's doing pretty decent. Like there's one that I just made where I think I added a shop feature, and it has a minute 13 playtime with like 10,000 views. So some of my games do well, and sometimes I take the shop out. But I also noticed certain mechanics do well too, like this, like when I make a cooking cake game, if it has tapping, that may not do so well as that I have like the drag. So I noticed like a lot of different games do better when you have certain mechanics. Sorry if I went off topic.
No, that's great. And you know what? You also point out something interesting. So here's something I think is a safer bet. If your game is not already going to attract people, if the core loop isn't good enough, I guarantee you upgrades and shops and stuff will not save it, right? So in other words, the upgrades and the shops will not make a bad game better. But if and when I say bad, I just mean like not super popular. It could still be a good game, but let's say it's like it's just going to do okay. It's not going to go from okay to amazing because you added a shop or because you added upgrades. However,
Mhm.
if you made a good game, the difference between a good game that people like and a good game that people just love and play forever could be things like upgrades and shops. Does that make sense? Because if you've already got someone on the hook and they love your game, they're probably much more interested in then exploring all the extra stuff. But they're not going to care about the extras if they're not already really into your core loop. So I guess the point is do not think of progression and upgrades and shops and extras. Don't think of that as the thing that makes your game good. Think of that as the thing that improves an already good game.
Yes, I would have to agree. I think that adding shops and upgrades is a good way to extend your game time or extend the median, or even possibly have higher returns on your games. Because
Exactly.
it's something that the players can look forward to, or something that they know that they're going to be working towards visually, and they can see that in the shop. So they can see that something costs such amount of money. They know they got to work to get there. So it adds an extension to the mechanics that you already have, I feel, but it definitely is not going to make your game.
Exactly right. So speaking of which, Toxic and Jaeger, you guys have both also made
Oh,
some
one
pretty
thing,
big games.
Alex. Sorry. I think some games kind of need the upgrades, like Dawn's game and Tycoon games, because if you don't have upgrades or a shop, you can't expand your game.
Yeah, that's a fair point. So, needless to say, if your core mechanic depends on something like a shop, then that's not an extra at that point. That's just part of the game, right? But like if you're making a slingshot battle game, that's not inherently like a shop-based game. It's just fighting, and then the shop adds detail. But if you're making like a grow a garden type game, half of grow a garden is going to a shop and selling stuff. So really, when we say shop and upgrades, what we really mean is adding extra stuff on top of your game. It doesn't always have to be a shop. It could also be like Toxic. Your lumber. I can never remember the name. Your tree chopping game has a skill tree, and a skill tree is kind of like a shop, but it's a little bit different. And that's an example of another way to have progressions and upgrade path kind of stuff. But again, you could have made the game without that. Like it doesn't
Well,
require.
there's a reason why I added that. It's because you're repeatedly chopping a tree, and I had to give the player some kind of a break from chopping a tree, which can be quite exhausting. And so that's kind of like their break from the main mechanic temporarily, so that they can get ready to go at it again
That's
and get a little better each time.
Yeah, so that's another good point about upgrades, especially when a skill tree, which maybe appears automatically. And Erica, you've made games like this as well, where you play for a little bit and then you automatically get a chance to upgrade your weapon after after a wave of enemies or something. Sometimes it's not even about the upgrades; it's just about the break. It's that I can think about something different. I can do something a little more chilled out, and then I get back to the action. So there's a lot of different ways to think about why this meta loop matters. But the simplest takeaway is the core loop is what the player does, the meta loop is why they do it. And when you put the two things together, they should complement each other. The meta loop should make the core loop better, right? But if you can't justify why the meta loop is making the core loop better, you probably don't need that feature. All right. Well, so before I move on, anyone else have any questions or thoughts about core loops and meta loops and progression and being a lumberjack? Let's see a question. Valorant or any other shooter game is just having core loop, same shooting mechanic. Shop is like optional. Meta loop is getting ranks. Can we think of leaderboard as kind of yeah? The leaderboard is definitely kind of meta, in the sense that the leaderboard, like you're not interacting with the leaderboard every moment of the game, right? It happens at the end of the game or in between levels or whatever, and it's kind of like measures your progress. It shows how you do against other people. So if you're playing a game that's about, say, breaking blocks, that leaderboard is going to track your progress over time, but it has nothing to do with the core loop, which is just breaking blocks, right? Pika is screaming about his leaderboards, so I want us all to take a minute and pay close attention to that.
Aren't leaderboards all live though?
No, he means that he can actually see if two people are playing the game at the same time, he can actually see the other person's progression as they play together. I think that's what he's meaning. Am I right, Pika? Yeah.
I just love the reaction from the whole chat. It's like, doesn't every game have that?
Not in the sense that he's talking about. You can look at the leaderboard whenever you want, but if 2 people or 5 people are playing, you can see your progression at the same time on the screen. Almost like a multiplayer, but just a live leaderboard.
Is this something he set up himself?
I've seen a couple of people do it actually. I have board-shaped leaderboards. You have very nice leaderboards, Alex.
Look, guys, there's nothing stopping you from bragging about things that everyone else also has. You can still do it. All right.
All right, so should we go into?
I think we should do it. Yeah. So let's see. We've got the whole team here. We've got Nox. We've got Monvi. We've got Jaeger. So we are a play testing dream team powerhouse today. So here's the plan. And guys, keep me honest, because again, I want to be super clear. Noxic and Pika are doing all the real heavy lifting here today. But I think the plan is, do we want to start with the Astro Academy students and then sorry, I left out Monvi. This is Monvi erasure, and it's unacceptable. Basically, everyone but me is doing the heavy lifting here today. I want to be clear about that. Yes, I am depicted in High Quality's GIF. This is me running into the submit a game channel without a plan. What do you guys recommend? You want to start with? I think we should start with an Astro Academy student because it's really important that students get some kind of priority. Maybe we alternate. Maybe we do a few students and then a few non-students. do you guys think?
I think that we
I-
should definitely start with the students. Sorry, go ahead.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think we should start with some students, maybe do 5 students and then 5 non-students.
Cool. Let me grab the document, which I've
but-
which I've already.
Document. Really? Okay.
Sorry, they they put this great document together, and it took me about 30 seconds to completely lose track of whatever browser tab I had it in. Just bear with me, and I will be here in just a second.
I
You
got
guys,
you. I PM'd you the links.
thanks. I'm going to start with Sakura. Is that?
Yeah,
see-
Sakura.
Okay, cool. Okay, this is Interstellar Defense by Mini Giant.
We've seen a lot of these vertical shooters lately.
We have. It's kind of cool to see. It's such a retro game genre, but they're also kind of easy to make, which means you can focus on making yours stand out and be really cool. By the way, I love this title screen. This is already super cool. And I love this. Guys, if you can do more of this, I recommend it. It's a title screen, but the game is kind of running in the background. In fact, I'll let you guys in on a little bit of Astrocade product design thinking. Something we're still working on. We are by no means done with this. This is going to keep evolving. Is what is the first what is the first moment that a user, a player gets when they're scrolling through the feed on Astrocade? And in a perfect world, it'd be like TikTok, and you would just see the game already ready to go. Like there wouldn't be a thumbnail, there wouldn't be anything. The problem is, of course, that's not how the internet works, especially depending on where in the world you are. Sometimes things just take too long to download, so we can't necessarily have like instant action when a game loads. But if you can design your game to do that, we highly recommend it. It's a really, really smart idea because it means that as someone is scrolling through the feed, they're swiping from game to game, your game, which has like instant action, is going to get much more attention than a game that might have come before it that has like instructions printed or something static, right? So I strongly advise it wherever possible. That GIF is awesome that B Little just posted. I strongly advise making your games just look visually interesting and engaging. So that's a little tip for everyone. And I will also say this: I don't have anything to promise just yet, but we are still exploring new ways to surface your games. So I recommend you make your games look as cool as possible, but we're also going to try to help out by making Astrocade present the games in different ways. All right, Interstellar Defense systems ready, launch fleet. Let's do it. Okay, a little bit of text issues here, but whatever. Deploy ships to defend yourself against enemies. Oh, is this like a merge game? This is. Wait a second. Uh-oh. Let me try that again. I may have done something wrong.
No, that's not you. That's me. It's messed up right now.
Oh, our creator is here. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so yeah, it looks like I'm trying to do a drag motion. Is that not right?
Should I tell you or let you? Okay.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
you're just spawning. You have looks like to me you have minerals, which you probably have way too many.
Guys, I don't know if
intentionally.
everyone appreciates what just happened. I asked the creator a question, and rather than answer me, the creator, who has clearly paid close attention to our instructions for playtesting, said, "I don't think I can answer that," which is exactly the right answer. So thank you so much for demonstrating how playtesting works. You are correct. I can ask all the questions I want, but until we're done, you cannot answer them. So well done, my friend. Okay, so I'm just going to talk through it. I just took a bunch of damage without really paying attention, but first of all, I'm going to say this game looks fantastic. There's definitely some glitches we need to work out, but the look and feel, like, look at this.
Oh,
This is just
Ooh.
beautiful. I love the way the UI looks. So I'm going to try to play a little more deliberately. I'm spawning these guys. I'm not sure what the limitation on spawning is. Maybe I can just keep going forever. But Toxic, you and I were saying, like, we're fans of vertical shooters. This is not really a vertical shooter. It's something a little more original.
is.
It's almost like kind of tower defense combined with a vertical shooter or something like that, which I think is awesome. I love this transition of like the ship flying from place to place. Look at that exhaust. What a cool effect.
So to me, I notice I get the game right away. My question is, you have currency, but how are you earning the currency? I see that each ship costs a certain amount, and you start to play her out, it seems like with quite a bit of currency. What
looks
is the actual game
I
loop
think
here?
it's up here. We've got like these little floating combat text things that show
There it
the
is.
earned, I guess.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
if-
you're right.
And you get the money back if they don't break too.
Oh, okay.
So okay, so the loop I'm getting. So let's do some core loop, meta loop analysis, everybody. Let's use our skills. The core loop, from what I can tell, is I show up in a new place, I spawn a bunch of ships, and then there's an auto battle between all the ships I spawned and these bad guys. And then I collect currency and I repeat. Now, what does seem to be missing, because I'm assuming the creator just hasn't done this yet, is like a shop or an upgrade path to use the currency. Although it says this will be unlocked after beating wave 6, so maybe it is there. Maybe because I think this is what, wave 4 or something. But you've got a very clear core loop, which is spawn, auto battle, collect currency, and then repeat. That's the loop over and over. And okay, wave 5, right? And so because we're collecting currency, although geez, look at me, I am loaded. Because we're collecting currency, you can imagine that the meta loop will have to do with spending that currency and buying stuff in between battles. It says, this looks so good. These ships are awesome. It says after wave 6 it'll be unlocked, which is kind of funny because it like implies that I don't need currency. Like I just unlock ships automatically. So we'll see what happens. That's a great effect too, by the way. So personally, I'm just going by first impressions, and once we're done, the creator can explain their vision. Maybe there's a plan here I'm not seeing. I think that you've got such a great setup for like a core loop that it would be really nice if after every wave I have like a little upgrade shop experience where I can spend my currency, because it seems like I'm making a lot of money, but I don't really have a need for it. And I think that because we've got this kind of auto battle thing, I'm thinking a lot about my fleet. Like that's an important thing to me. Oh, I see. By the way, the currency limits how much I can spawn, but because I have so much money, I can basically spawn endlessly. So I'm sure it's because the game is in like an early stage. I feel like the balance between currency and spending is way out of whack. Like it's just I'm like super OP. But okay, I just unlocked something. That's cool. So that's a little hint of progression. But yeah, other than that, I think this makes sense. So that's my first impression. Toxic, Nox, Monvi, what do you guys think before we let the creator explain what they're going for here?
To me, it's very clear. The main mechanic is very clear. I think it's a really good foundation, and I think you can expand and do quite a bit of stuff from here on out with the whole loop.
On my side, I think that the creator got too excited with the juice before he had polished his core gameplay.
I am tempted to say there's no such thing as too much juice, but you are right that the order is get the gameplay locked down and then juice it up. But you know what? I'm a juice addict myself, so I'm not gonna fault him because it's probably what I would have done.
I do want to see the ship the whole time while I'm battling, though. I feel like you're covering half your ship with your UI.
Yeah, and I think the ship is like so beautiful. You should definitely show it more.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we've given you our take. Sakura, give us your thoughts and let us know what you're going for here.
You guys are all valid. Thank you for the feedback. This is a pretty simple core mechanic, so I'm trying to sell the visual aspect of it more. And this is a dev mode that I've temporarily put on so I can test. So everything's out of whack, like the economy's out of whack.
Got it. Yeah. That makes sense.
If I could ask you to do something cool, if you could go to the settings at the top right, and you can jump to any wave. You jump to like wave 50, for example.
All right, let's do it.
See everything. Just go crazy.
Whoa. Oh, this is awesome. I'm gonna deploy Vindicators and Zinders. Maybe a Phoenix or two. Whoa!
Oh.
Look at this. All right, well now we got to pick your brain a little bit. Tell us how you built all this. This looks incredible. What was your process for making all this?
It's a ton of going back, redoing prompts, generating an image, and then trying to break down layer by layer for each animation.
I mean, this is just, I mean, it's such an impressive amount of work that went into this. Like, this just looks so good. So you've also hit on something that I talked about in the lesson, but you've demonstrated it so much better than just talking about it, which is variety, right? So because it's kind of in dev mode, I don't get a good sense of difficulty. I know you've got it kind of set up to just be easy to test. So I don't know if this game gets harder, but what I can tell you just looking at this is this game really rewards the player with variety. Like, just look at how different everything is. You've got all these totally different looking ships. You've got all these really different varied weapons, all these different special effects. So that is incredible. I think someone that plays this game is going to get more than their money's worth, so to speak, because this just keeps delivering new stuff. So congrats, that's great. Cool. This is awesome. Honestly, I think at this point, the only thing I'd love to just see more is like the real version of the game with the actual balance you're going for and the actual progression. So I would make one suggestion based on what I've seen, especially because you have so much great stuff here. My advice is be pretty generous with the unlocks. Like maybe wave 6 to get your first unlock is too long because the player is going to find out that there's so much great stuff here. But if they don't play long enough, it would be really a shame if they missed out on that. So I still leave it up to you to kind of do the balance as you kind of your vision dictates. But I would strongly encourage you to err on the side of making it happen and unlock faster than slower because I think if people see a bunch of stuff changing and unlocking, and then they notice that it unlocks again and again, they'll kind of get hooked on it because they're just going to want to see what's coming next, which I think is a strength of your game.
Yeah, makes sense. I think I'm kind of trying to figure that out right now, so appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, it's almost
and-
like your upgrading system and your store system is part of your main mechanic, kind of like we were talking about earlier. This
Yeah,
game
exactly.
Kind of
Yeah.
needs that.
Yeah, like in a farming game, it's not an add-on. It's actually part of the main gameplay.
Yeah, the cool part is just auto battling and watching it do cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, so the trick with an auto battle is it's got to keep my attention, and I've done nothing. I'm
Yeah.
just getting battered. But like, look at this. This is like I'm watching an anime here, basically. So you've definitely given me a lot to watch, which is great.
You can try pressing the middle button on the right, the vertical stack.
This one. Jesus! Wow. This is like straight up Kamehameha. That looks amazing, dude. I'm loving this. This is such great work. You know what would be great, and this is only if you feel like doing it. It'd be great if you shared some of your wishes because you've dialed in just amazingly detailed animation, and I think a lot of people would benefit from seeing how you did that. So, food for thought. No pressure, but food for thought if you want to share. Yeah, agree with Ro. You'd be great. Maybe we'll bring you back. You can be like a guest lecturer on prompting. How about that?
Oh boy.
Have you put this in for ambassador as an application? Are you an ambassador?
No, I just started last week, so I'm gonna finish the game first, maybe.
Yeah, good idea. Are you doing this with smart model or are you doing it with a fast model?
Fast.
Wow.
No way. Really?
There you go. See, there you go.
Wow.
This is what fast model is actually capable of. Well done, sir. Well done.
All right. Well, guys, everyone coming next, you've got a tough act to follow. So let's check in with everyone's favorite smartphone manufacturer. Let's see. Did we play this yesterday? I don't think we did. Who's the mafia? Choose your language. I'm going to be in an English mafia. All right. Let's go. Who's the mafia? Play. Last night, a murder. The victim, Mr. Wilson, back alley, found at dawn. Between midnight at 3 a.m., one person is the mafia who murdered Mr. Wilson. One little minor note, I think the mafia refers to a group, not a person, but it's just nitpicking. If you fail to find the mafia to be killed before the nightfall, the mafia will murder another person from the table. Uh-oh. All right. So I think I get it. I'm noticing though, this, by the way, I believe this is an LLM game. So this game is going to be based on using an LLM. But okay, so there was a bit of a delay. Can someone explain, and by someone I mean the creator, was that because the LLM was generating a bunch of text or what? So I'm breaking rules. I am asking a real question. This is not just playtesting.
Yeah, LLM has to set the stage based on what the crime scene. So this is not a scripted. It's all LLM generated.
Right.
So the conversation behind after you press that investigate it, there's a certain stories behind it that they will respond based on.
Got it. Sounds good. Okay, so I'll go back to playtesting, which means you can't answer my questions, but let's come back to that because we may want to talk about anything involving loading times, whether it's download or LLMs, is always something to think about. So we'll come back to that. But let's do a little playthrough. Okay, investigate. Ooh, hey, look who's perfect. Excellent. It's my favorite color too, and I always wear backwards baseball caps like that, as Monvi can confirm. All right. So let's see. We've got all the kind of scripted dialogue. I was near the back alley. Okay, one thing I'm immediately noticing is it looks like it's auto advancing, which I really advise not doing because people read at different speeds and yeah. So I would give someone like a button, like a next button. I know you've got a next button here. That's great to like speed them up, but I would also use that to move to the next player because otherwise it's just too easy. I see there's a chat log here, which maybe that's the fallback, but because there's so much text on the screen, and in fact, I would maybe advise that during this kind of intro sequence, you don't have this log here because I'm kind of looking at I see two places to read at once. Maybe this pops up after you've given me the roundtable discussion from everybody. Okay, but everyone's got their alibi. I was at the tavern with Dylan all night, no doubt. I was the back alley just passing by. I was at the end. Okay. Let's see what this does. See opinions. Opinions and alibis. Okay. Let's see. So it looks like Ben is unconfirmed and he was near the crime scene. So I'm going to ask Ben a question. Ask the question to Ben. So Ben says, I was at the inn late evening alone. Ethan being to the back alley during the murder seems most suspicious. Can you prove that you were at the inn? Let's see. I can't prove it with witnesses, but the innkeeper would confirm I was there. I don't know if I buy that. See opinions. Another one confirmed Kathy's suspicions. Ethan near the murder spot, alibi the market stalls late evening. Okay, how about this? Kathy is clearly trying to throw Ethan under the bus. So I'm going to ask Kathy a question and say, what did you buy at the market last night? She better have a good answer. I bought a loaf of bread and some fresh herbs at the stalls. And what does the chat think? Or, for that matter, what does any of our illustrious playtesting team think? We can solve this murder together, you guys. We can do something good. Okay, Nosmal's voting for Ethan.
I have no idea.
It's a nice Twitch game you got
It's
there.
a lot of reading. How do you feel about all the reading is my question, because
Yeah, so this is kind of the challenge of LLM games. On the one hand, it's such a cool idea because you can actually talk to characters, which is like just a completely new experience. By the way, I love the blinking. This is really great. But on the other hand, it does make the game super reading heavy. So one of my initial thoughts on this is I don't know if it's great to have this chat log here. Like, I think it's a great option. And if somebody wants to like open it like a drawer, then maybe that's a good idea. But you know what's awesome is this roundtable thing with the moving camera and one voice bubble popping up. I think that's great. So my suggestion might be, and I'd love to get other people's opinions because this is very subjective, maybe only present this chat log as an option, and the rest of the time you're just looking face to face with characters, and when someone's talking, you see their voice bubble, and that's it. What do you guys think about that?
That is exactly how I would do it. I would maybe put a little like journal button up to the upper right hand corner that the player can always just click on to review their chat. And then you're going to keep that area, your playfield, nice and clean. You can see all those really cool characters. And yes, that spinning effect is awesome. I love that effect in games.
Yeah, I love it. It's like this Power Ranger mafia where everyone's got a color uniform, but they're all potential murderers. Monvi, you love murder and violence and crime. What do you think about all this?
I do like it. I think I like it. It's just I'm not really a huge text person, so maybe I'm not the right person to. Maybe this is just not my kind of game, just because it has like a lot of reading, and I'm just like a casual player. I just want to like boom, 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 bam, and next.
Monvi famously hates books. I wonder though, you might be the best person to ask then, because if you don't want to do a lot of reading, and all kidding aside, I don't think any of us want to do a lot of reading in a game. How do you feel about ways to keep the game concept but make it less text heavy? Like my idea is it's just one voice bubble at a time, and that's basically it. Any other thoughts if you were making this game, what you do?
I like the one bubble thing. Maybe options, so I could just click instead of typing.
Yeah, so they've got that, but you know what? Is because you've got this at the top of the screen, and you've got this text chat history, and you've got all this. Like, I
Oh,
think
that's
these options would be a little bit more powerful if they weren't fighting for attention with so much other text. And in
yeah.
fact, it might be good, maybe, and this is something to play test, like get different players, but maybe you can break this into steps. Like, ask a question is the first thing, or even better, how about this? Don't have ask a question. I should be able to just click on somebody to ask a question, right? And then once I click on them, I just get either the shortcuts or a text box. Because if you think about it right now, let's do the math in our head. First, there's the button, ask a question. That's a little bit of text. Then it rolls up, questions remaining, ask a question to Alex, Ben, Kathy, Dylan. Like there's so much text. So one way that you can cut that down is combine things. I'm already looking at all these characters. Why not make the characters the button itself, right? So if I want to ask Alex a question, I click Alex, and then I basically go to a simplified version of this. So that's also something to think about. Let's try to do a. Sorry, I think was someone saying something.
No, but I can talk. I think if he breaks the pacing with mini games or interrogation or clues that you click a character and the character is feeling nervous that you ask them a question or something like that, then there's more interactivity and it's less of the same.
Sorry, I'm just embracing my new avatar. Okay. All right, let's cut to the chase. I'm going to point the finger at Kathy. I've never trusted Kathy's, especially purple-haired Kathy's the worst. Night falls. Kathy was innocent. Well, I've sentenced an innocent person to death. But, that's life in the mafia. All right, so here's what I love about this game. I love the way it looks. I love the 3D roundtable thing. It's got a really fun attitude and sense of humor. I think that's all great. I personally think now people around the table react to who got killed. I think what's left is just cleaning up the interface to be a little bit less text heavy, but that's also my opinion. The reason we always advocate so much playtesting is different people will have different opinions. And if a bunch of people like all the text, then maybe everything we're saying you can ignore. But if other people also agree that it's too text heavy, then you see a pattern and you know how to improve your game. So I think
Question
that's
on
yeah.
this. I noticed that the LLM actually seems to be working very well. Is this
Yeah, it
all
does.
done? Is this all inside of Astro, or have you actually pulled this out and used Claude or something to try to work your LLM a little bit better?
First of all, sorry, I gotta cut in. Please, guys, do not use your own APIs in Astrocade games. You do not want the bill that's going to show up if we blow up your game. Anyway, please proceed.
Yeah, API is not used, but so the problem with the wish is that when I get the output from the wish, it only gives me very simple output saying, "Oh, your wish has been done. We made it happen. It's amazing." But to build the context engineering of how LLM will take the text and understanding, I need more information on output, like exactly how is the feed getting to the LLM to understand the context and what is the answer based off and all that stuff. So I had to take the code out to Cloud Code and more context engineering for the LLM within the Cloud Code, and then copied back to Astrocade. I felt almost impossible at some point to engineer properly with the LLM games.
Because I'll say in my
just with
experience,
the wish.
I'm struggling with 3 different LLM games to keep them on point or to keep them from repeating themselves. So
This is great.
Wishes keep saying that it had that context, but then if I pull it out and then actually ask more detailed questions through the Cloud Code, LLM didn't have that context before answering anything. So at the beginning, a lot of chat going back and forth between the character were all talking nonsense. There was no one single storyline that they're all referencing it together. So this is interesting because it's making 5 character as a sub agent, so they don't know the context of each other.
Right,
So
right,
they're
right.
yeah, they're the true character of each other, and they don't know who the mafia is. That's and I didn't actually I didn't know that was possible, creating own sub agent within one game. So but that's what Cloudco was saying. It created the multiple session of LLM calls, which you will feed different context into each of it, so they play of that character individually without knowing other people's other LLM's context behind.
This
Good
is
information.
Yeah.
this is really good feedback. So just for context, everyone, we've been doing an experiment with LLM games, and in fact, we started a little LLM game jam. And the reason we did it was we wanted to get as much LLM content put together as quickly as possible because we're trying to learn from it. We want to know, do players want to play these games? Do creators want to make these kinds of games? But also, if you do want to make these games, does it even work? Like, how well does the creation experience work? So it's definitely much more complicated to make an LLM game using Astrocade than to make a normal game because there's all these new variables that are harder to control. But what we're seeing is a lot of common patterns. Toxic, you've mentioned similar things. I think really everybody has had some version of this feedback. So I think I'm certain we can make this much better. Like this is our kind of version 0.5 attempt. But feedback from you guys is part of how we do that. So I know it can be kind of a pain, but we really appreciate you guys trying to explore this and see if these kinds of games are viable or not. So we will be collecting all of this feedback and passing it back to our dev team. But in the meantime, it's very helpful that you guys are exploring. And what I know that you've kind of had to do a lot of hacks, Samson, but what you're demonstrating is that when things do work, the resulting game is pretty smooth. Like this experience actually feels pretty good. I know it was a kind of a pain to get there, but as a player, I'm into it.
Yeah, the LLMs, the modal smartness of the LLM is actually pretty good. So once it actually understands the proper context, that it does the proper conversation. And I think only thing that needs to be improved is just the if there is any level of output detail from the wish that we can choose from, that we can order wish to give me more context into what your output is, then it might be much better understanding how the LLM has been engineered inside the code.
Yeah.
But so most of the game development, when you prompt it, even if output of the wish is very simple text, that's okay because you can test the game and you can visually see that. With the LLM, you can't really see that until you have multiple conversation. So that additional information of, especially if it's an LLM, the output, how it's engineered from the wish to provide it to the creator, that will be very helpful.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, well, we've given you some feedback on the game you've made, and you've given us some great feedback on the LLM kind of wish capabilities. So thanks so much. If you keep doing any work in the game, please share again. We'd love to see how it progresses. But we will also take your feedback and use that directly to hopefully make the LLMs better. So thanks
Sounds
again.
good. I love that feedback of let's make it less text.
Yeah.
And I think I just got some cool ideas to how to get there. So I'll make those improvements.
That's great to hear. Thanks again.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna do one more, and then maybe one of our fellow playtesting gurus here can do the next one. I actually, you know what? How about someone else does it? Because I've played this game a couple times. Monvi, Noxic, who wants to give this one a shot?
I've already played this one as well.
Played that one as well.
Well,
Okay, you're up.
Well, okay. Wait,
Still
let me
love this
find.
title. Build a farm factory tycoon. I think you should add a couple things. Add like sim at the bottom or something. I think that'd be amazing.
Wait, what's the name of this one again?
Let's see. I will paste the link directly into the chat. You can grab it there.
Okay.
And it is called Build and Grow a Garden Farm Factory Tycoon Sim. Expanded universe.
Okay. All right, let me share my screen. Sweet. Kings, ox, yaks? What? Okay. All right. Okay, I see some. Kings.
Something
Is
has changed.
is a coin-shaped asteroid crashing into the Earth?
Where? Oh, is this an asteroid? This is very.
It looks like
Where?
it looks it looks
I
like a
don't know.
planet is colliding with the Earth that's got a dollar sign on it.
So, this is completely different than the last time we've seen it. What's kind of going on here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is the
He got
creator here?
Yeah, he's here in the chat. It's Mas, M-A-S.
Hey,
Hey.
Moss. What's going on?
It is bugged.
Oh, I see. Um,
He says this might have happened because you didn't give him smart model.
don't blame the smart model, okay? People can make good games on fast model as well. It's fast for a reason.
We just saw that vertical shooter tower defense game that was like a masterpiece that made by Steven Spielberg, and that was all fast model. Although I never use fast model, so I'm a total hypocrite.
You are a hypocrite. But okay, I will give you a fast model. Fine.
Yeah, Monvi's going to give you fast model access. Congratulations.
And after this, if I see this game, I'm gonna be pissed.
How about this?
What?
Just because we're feeling generous, everyone in the chat gets access to the fast model. Congratulations, guys. You all get it.
Hey, let's go.
There you go.
But you still have to open a ticket, okay?
So what's the status here? Are we just moving on, or are we going to
Yeah,
play?
I think we're gonna have to move on and let him
Okay,
fix
all
it.
right. Let's see what's next. I'm gonna Monvi. You're not off the hook yet. You're gonna play the next game from Roby. Solo chess. Is this
So-
one-player chess? Is it just all white pieces, or
Or do you just have one piece?
or that?
Where?
Let's find out.
Can you link the?
Girl, I already did. It's in the chat.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Robbie solo chess. Tap the rook. Yummy tappy. Capture the pawn. Oh. King must be last. Wait, what? Okay. Sure.
Is it
Wait,
me or is
what?
it hard to see the background?
It is a bit hard to see the
It's
background.
definitely pale. I don't think it's for me. It's
Why am I not able to move
Fine.
it? Oh,
On the lighter side for sure.
it's pastel chess.
Peaceful.
Yeah, it's a chilled out vibe chess.
so I just have to kill, kill, kill. I mean, I like that,
You
but
like bam bam bing bing boom boom.
that's true. I do. Okay. Then I'm just killing my own self. Interesting. I'm very curious to see the thought process here. Because it's weird because like say this guy is over here, I mean I should somehow like be able to still make a move even though the pawn is not really there. But here only if there's a pawn and I can only kill the pawn, I can make the move. So I don't think I like that very much.
Roby, is this using actual logic from chess, like pawns can only attack diagonally and queens can move in any direction, so on and so forth. So you do have to have a little bit of knowledge of chess, I think, to play this game prior to. I'm not sure if you do or don't, Monty.
Once Monvi's done playtesting, can we let Roby on the stage?
There we go.
Shit. I see. Okay. I'll kill this dude kills this dude. I see. So the strongest pawn has to win at the end of the day. I see the vision. I do see the vision. But do me like the vision? Who's the king? Oh, this is the king. Oh shit, I killed the king. Never mind. And maybe like tell, oh, you killed the king, or like give me some feedback because now I don't know what to do. So I would just think it's a bug. If that makes sense.
I would have thought I would have won right there because I only had one piece left.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And there's no feedback, so I would think I was stuck. I guess I kill you. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Okay,
Okay,
yeah, I get the concept. I think it's kind of fun. I would just like more feedback.
let's let Roby up to talk. If anyone can invite her.
Can you request to speak, Roby?
Monvi, in an act of vindictive rage, took away my mod privileges, I think, so I can't do it.
Oh, keep
You were
popping up.
complaining about all the tickets.
Yeah, because I don't want all the ticket notifications. It doesn't mean I don't want to be a mod. Jeez.
If
Jeez,
you're a
lady.
mod, you get. You know what? I don't want to go on this thing with you.
Anyway, long story short, I can't let people on stage because I'm on timeout.
Do I need to
I
mute you?
You might. It's a possibility.
Use my mod powers.
I mean, you technically outrank me, so I can't stop.
That was what I was getting at. Roby, do you not want to speak, or you not want to talk about your game? Here's what I think. I think that your game needs a checkerboard background that is black and cream colored, so that we can see the characters and kind of get more of a chess feel. That's my biggest complaint right now. Otherwise, I understand what you're getting at.
I'm going to play the role of Roby. I don't know how to do a South African accent, but I'm going to try. So I'll answer any questions you've got, Toxic.
Oh, okay, cool. So basically, it's to have one piece left over using the piece's actual movements from chess to solve the puzzle. It's not really chess; it's a puzzle game. It's
that's right. The puzzle game. I'm doing a horrible New Zealand accent, and I'm calling it South African.
But I'm having a real hard time seeing the pieces.
Oh no! Now I'm going to get it. Roby's actually here.
Welcome, Roby.
Hello.
I was close.
Roby, don't listen.
No, it's fine. I was just having issues with my speaker and audio.
I nailed it. So, that was perfectly captured that. I take it back. I did a great job with that accent.
No, you didn't.
So Pika tested it, and like the black was kind of confusing. So I thought I would change it to be all white. But yeah, so basically I was on chess.com, and they have an option for solo chess, and basically the objective is you get limited moves. You only get 2 moves per piece, and you have to, the only thing you can do with your moves is capture. You can't just move around. You literally have to use whatever is available to you to capture. So I was also trying to see if Astro can actually come up with good puzzles with this. Yeah, kind of went with the pastel. I'm also not sure about the colors, so I can make it like darker. And then like if you're more familiar with chess, it is using the chess logic. Then you can choose to hide the parts, which are the little dots, and you can make it harder that way. And I also have hints. And then if you actually run out of time, I'm not sure where the timer is. That is a bug. But essentially, if you run out of time, right, it will play the sequence for you. It will show you how you actually solve the puzzle. Yeah, but I'm not sure why the time is gone. Oh, yeah. So basically, if it finishes the 25 seconds, yeah, then it will show you exactly how you could have done it.
Right. Yeah, I think it's over here. But it only shows up, I think, sometimes. But I feel like we need more feedback. Like once, like for example, if I actually didn't win that puzzle, it doesn't tell me anything. So I feel like I'm stuck.
Because I think the hint didn't come through properly. It's supposed to hint the undo. Like if you realize you can't do anything, it's supposed to show the undo. But
Maybe
yeah,
just
it's
try.
not doing it.
Yeah. Maybe just do the retry button. But yeah, I guess, but it's still like really fun. I would love more levels, it to be a bit harder. It's not that hard. So I think a little bit more progression would be fun. I mean, I solved it already, like the entire thing. Not to brag or anything, but you know.
Well, I think that, Roby, I think that your mechanics here are 100% complete. I don't think you really need to tweak them or do anything else with them. I think from here on out, it's just going to be visual polish, visual feedback, and adding juice to the game to make it a bit more exciting. Because I think that what you have here is a very simple but effective game mechanic.
Yeah. So you can see how it's showing you how you could have solved it. But also, I was thinking about breaking it up because you were saying earlier about making it easier to break things up. I was actually thinking of breaking it up with something like a mini match, like a proper but it's literally you only have like 1 or 2 moves to checkmate.
So you mean like
Yeah.
a mini game in between some of the rounds to kind of break
Yeah.
up the gameplay?
Yeah, so it actually does have like you're playing the AI and then it's going that way. So so it's just more the single color was just to show that you are not playing a match, you're essentially playing yourself. Playing the game alone.
I think to really sell it, you really got to get that chessboard in there and actually give it that feel of chess. Because kind of right now, to me, it feels almost like it's just things are floating in midair.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I personally like the kind of faded pastel look just because it's very original, but I agree with everyone else that I think it's just visually it's just a little bit confusing because it's not giving you that contrast look that you expect with chess, right?
Correct.
Oh, I could also change the colors of the pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, that was another suggestion. I mean, what I like about it is it's really novel. It feels like a really original take on chess, which is cool. But yeah, other than that, I think I mostly agree with what I've heard from others.
Do you need all these buttons though on screen? Can you like put them all, regroup them all in a
Mhm.
menu where you're like, you know, if you want all these extra things to appear on screen, you can put them in like hints or
It's a
whatnot,
good
so it could look simpler.
Yeah, I was actually seeing it now that there's not much interaction with it. So maybe it is a bit of a lot. Because the intention was okay, you can restart it or hide or ultimately do the solution itself. With my emoji game, I think some people complain that it's too hard or something. Trying to make this easier. Yeah, I think I probably should reevaluate how many buttons actually need to be there, or they can pop up at relevant, stages.
Yeah, a general tip, by the way, this is for every game, every context, is if you can only show a button or an option when it's relevant, that's ideal. That's always the best case because then it doesn't take up any permanent place on the screen, and when it is needed, people will immediately notice it. Some things don't fit that pattern, some things you just have to have access to all the time. But if you feel like something is dependent on context or when a particular thing happens or when something doesn't happen or whatever, that is always the ideal time to present something to the user. So that's a really good instinct, Roby.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I don't know how much people would want to use that hide path thing though. But I guess it maybe people who are a bit more advanced in chess, but probably still not.
Faraz asks an interesting question, Roby. How do you think about progressive difficulty in this game? Like, if I play this game for a while, how do you imagine it changing over time?
It would be the mini matches, where you actually have to figure out the chess, the checkmate move.
Mm. So, in other words, the challenge of achieving that checkmate gets harder over time.
No, it's a proper breaking of the game. So like you do solo games for a bit,
Uh-huh.
and then after like a few puzzles, then you have to maybe the first one will be in a single move get to checkmate, And then as you progress, as these puzzles do, the checkmate mini matches will become a little bit harder, and it might require multiple steps to get to checkmate.
Got it. Yeah, it comes up because Faraz asks if maybe there's an opportunity for the sawtooth pattern that we talked about, where it gets more and more difficult, and then it steps back a little bit and gets a little bit easier, and then it gets difficult again, and then it gets a little bit easier. It doesn't apply to every game. That may be a little too complicated for something like this, but it's something to think about.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking about that being like the top of it being the top of the saw tip being the match, and then it going back to solo is the drop.
There you go.
Yeah.
That could work great, actually. Very smart. Cool. Does anyone else have any other thoughts, or do we want to move on to our next game? By the way, thanks, Roby. This was great, and thanks for joining us and sharing your input.
Okay. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Robbie.
All right, how about this?
Do I
Because
leave?
we are doing our usual thing, which is we're taking forever, which I think is good. I think we're giving a lot of people a lot of really good feedback, so I want to keep doing that. But our non-Astro Academy students have been very patient. So, how do we feel about sharing a non-student game?
Yeah, we should definitely do it. Otherwise, they're gonna slit your throat, which I would personally
I feel like you're escalating things unnecessarily, but you're probably not totally wrong. I know that DJam has been waiting, and the only reason we might prioritize DJam is because he's DJam, guys. Come on. The question is, do we want to play DJam's LLM game, or do we want to play DJam's World Cup game?
Well, why don't we ask DJam?
Yeah, let's see.
Which do you prefer we play? Pika says both.
DJam is requesting to speak. Here comes the man himself.
He's a speaker.
Hello.
Hey, DJam.
Fine. Yes. About which game? I think we should try this one for the LLM challenge.
Okay.
Because the World Cup game is doing quite well. I think maybe it won't need changes yet.
Yeah, I think us providing feedback on his latest smash hit powerhouse game is probably going to be a little bit of a waste of time. So yeah, it's doing great. By the way, check it out. DJam has an awesome new World Cup game. It's really, really good. And by the way, he's got a really cool take on the animated thumbnail. The animated thumbnail is something we're a little bit not crazy about because it kind of messes up the look and feel of the gallery, but DJam has this really cool depth effect in his animated thumbnail that I really like. Okay, let's do it then. Let's check out Pyramid Challenge from our very own DJam. Does anybody want to play it, or should I do the honors?
I think you should do this one.
All right, let's do it.
I think you want to do this one.
I think you're right.
Okay, just for that, Manvi, you have to play it.
I'll just do it.
All right, I'll do it. Pyramid Challenge. Pyramid Challenge. Says it twice. Okay, am I going to play as John or am I going to play as Elena? John has got a smoldering stare. I'm sorry. What's up? What's up, TJ?
It needs sound because it plays with the voices.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
I think you should do Elena.
All right. I'll do it.
Let's play!
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Pyramid. I'm your host. Let's play. Your turn to give the clues. Rob will guess.
Look at the animation. Okay. By the way, Let's Play is a weird name for a host, but whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your host. Let's play.
That was
Heart.
terrible.
You're terrible. How many clue words will you need? Okay, so I should say right off the bat, because I was trying to be funny and failing, I don't exactly know what the purpose of the game is. I may have missed a couple things, but I'm just going to run with it. Heart. How many clue words will you need? Fewer words equals more points.
You got to guess the word, basically. It said so on the title.
What do you think, Monvi? How many words should I ask for?
I don't know, dude. Make a decision.
Oh, jeez.
Four.
I'll do it in 2 words.
Teamwork here. Okay. I'll do it in 2 words. So wait a second. So I'm playing. I'm guessing the word. I think I'm confused here. One word, but I have the word. Or am I the one? Am I the one trying to give Rob clues? I think I am, right?
Okay, it's a football themed thing, right? So it should be something football. So is there something football themed
No.
that's
Wait, what? Football?
No,
What are you
it's a
talking-
quiz show. It's a quiz show. It's not
But
football.
no, but it's like it's like the pyramid game, right? But the idea is one person knows the word and the other person is trying to guess the word, right?
Yeah, it's like charades or something, I think.
Yeah, but
sorry
what I
guys,
don't
I
get is
thought this was this football game. I'm so sorry. It's not.
Manvi, welcome to the Astro Academy afternoon.
Jeez.
But here's what I'm confused by. So it's heart. I'm assuming heart is the word, and then I give Rob clues like it pumps blood or something, right?
Yeah, like body part or something.
So and then let's see. One word clue. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me just try this. So blood. Give.
Blood.
Okay, I think I'm getting it now. Okay, so I gave a clue.
Need some anticipation music to wait for the
Yes.
element.
I really don't know this one.
This is like a voice synthesizer from the 80s. Okay, how about this? Pumping. Blood and pumping. What else could it be if not the heart? I should have just said love. That's what I should have said, guys.
Heart. Got it.
Ooh.
Damn.
All right. Okay. Pizza. This should only take one.
I'll do it in 1 word.
Life.
Pepperoni.
Life.
No, slice.
Pepperoni.
Out of clues. The answer was pizza.
Okay. Well, that's on him. If someone said life, I would have said pizza. That would have been my guess. I take no debate on this.
I think that's only you. No one's gonna be there.
Okay, fine. I think I can do moon in 2.
I'll do it in 2 words.
So, I'm gonna do phases.
No, no one's gonna guess
I
that.
think Rob's gonna get it. I believe in Rob.
No, Rob is not that smart.
We'll see.
Hey, DJM, can you say more than one word?
Oh, look who did it in one guess, Monvi. My boy Rob.
No,
Dang.
Okay, I
You,
played it.
can't
I think I
have
get it,
one.
and I definitely like it. So let's open the floor to some discussion. My immediate thoughts are I was confused at first, and I don't know why I can only do one word at a time. I'm not sure why I can't type a sentence. But other than that, I really like the format, and I like all the details of like the animation and stuff.
I actually like
So that's my
the word. It makes it more, fun. That's
like
the whole
you like the talking? That was gonna be. What is that?
Oh, geez, sorry.
What am I hearing?
Sorry. That was a very
Holy
loud
smokes.
timers.
just
Sorry.
a question. Just a question. How many of you knows the TV game? It's called in France. It's called Pyramid. In US, it's called the $25 million. No, $2,500 Pyramid.
Yeah.
It's
No,
a TV game.
I'm roughly familiar with the game. It was also featured in an episode of
Maybe
Friends.
it's for older persons.
Yeah, no, it's
It was-
definitely an old person thing for sure. But that is a good point. Exactly. Toxic got the gift faster. I definitely think the concept is applicable. I think maybe for younger players, a little more explanation possibly. But I think once you know what you're doing, it's a fun game loop.
I'm a
I
younger
try to
person.
use the LLM in a simple way to avoid having too much text. So it's only a few words, but it's still a game.
DJM, how
Nice.
did you get the text to voice?
It's just the built-in HTML voice.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So in other words, you've got like a JavaScript package you can import that'll just let the browser talk without. It's not like a fancy AI thing. It's just like old school voice synthesizer,
Yes,
right?
yes, that's why. Because I don't have time. It's only 4 days.
I'm
But,
torn on it.
But
I think.
if
Go ahead,
go on,
DJM.
go
I'm
on.
sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I just want to say that if I had time, maybe I use the 11 Labs API to have more vivid voices.
So there's where I was actually going to go. Right. So I'm torn on your voices in your game because one thing it does is it bridges that problem between having to read and actually having to listen. But then at the same time, such as my Seance game, players don't typically play with audio on. And so we're using an LLM in these games, and when we add the audio or the talking, the player may or may not even actually hear that. And so then it ultimately becomes straight reading. So I was curious about the API with such as 11 Labs, but I was talking with Pika earlier, and I would assume that that would be something that would be quite expensive to try to implement in our games. So I do at the same time like the voices in the game. I'm not particularly fond of the way they sound, but I do understand why you did it, and I do think it's effective.
It's important for this game because only reading it could be hard, and I wanted to remake the TV game ambience, which it's all with voice on the TV.
Right, right.
But the problem is now is that I need some juice to make it more attractive.
Well, I think that in terms of styling and look and feel, it's actually already pretty good. Like, I don't think you need a lot, but I definitely think that because it's such a simple game, like it's basically just type in a word, there could just be more going on visually. Like, I really like the way you started it. It kind of looks and feels like a game show. So let me start over. Like, you got the background and all that. So I don't know. To me, there's not like a bunch of missing stuff. I like the fact that the character headshots have these kind of animated kind of loops to them. That's cool. I just wonder if maybe proportionately. Sorry, let me start this over. This seems to be broken. If maybe, like for instance, this is a great title screen. This totally looks like a game show, but maybe this area down here could be a little more balanced. I'm just kind of because like I know that the keyboard is going to pop up here, which is fine, but until it does, you could maybe be using this for something a little bit more. I don't know. I'm really just making up kind of random stuff because I think overall this is good. I don't think you need radical changes to it.
I actually think it's really fun. I love playing these kind of games. That's what I wish it was like multiplayer, so it would be really fun. I actually really like it. I think it's fun, and as a younger person, I love these kind of games.
I think it's cool that Manvi, being a younger person, has actually heard of this game, or maybe she hasn't. Maybe that's why you think it's cool because you haven't heard of it.
I haven't heard of it. I mean, I'm sure there's concepts like this. I don't really watch that much game shows or whatever, but it's fun. I like even with both of us like doing that. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. But here's the only thing that I was thrown off by. When it says how many clue words will you need, that was why I couldn't tell if I had the word or I was guessing the word, because it sounds like I'm the one who has to figure out how many I will need to guess.
I
So
see.
maybe phrase this a little bit differently. And because then it's more like a wager. It's like you're betting on how fast the other person will get it, as opposed to what you think you'll need. But other than that, yeah, I agree with Manvi. I think it was actually really fun.
What if you press the refresh button to the right?
Nice. Well, I've also noticed that we have a lot of game show games recently, as well as vertical shooters. And we played a game last week. I think it was last week, and it was Deal or No Deal. And
that's right.
Yes, and I was thinking the whole time that that would be a wonderful game to turn into an LLM game. Also, maybe for you to take a little bit of inspiration of, because I thought honestly it was a really, really, really well done. I'm not sure who the creator was that they are in here.
Oh, the Deal or No Deal game that like recreated every single detail of the TV studio.
Ardeen, yeah.
Yes.
So maybe check his game out, and maybe you can get some juice from that one, because I thought that was pretty well done.
Yes, but in 4 days it's quite.
Yeah,
I don't disagree.
Don't sleep. No sleeping.
And and honestly though, I think the 3D approach to like a game show is really fun, but it's totally unnecessary. Like it doesn't change anything about the gameplay. So I think DJM is right that in the interest of getting something done quickly, that's probably the smart move. But yeah, no, I like it. I think you've done a good job of compacting a game into a pretty quick but playable and reasonably polished kind of game jam speed run kind of exercise. But yeah, I think the only thing that threw me off was this. If this were clear, I would have gotten right into it and pretty much had fun immediately.
Okay, some more explanations.
Or maybe not even more. Just I think this making it
You're
clear
fine.
you have the word so that it's more about what it means to you. You're betting on how fast the opponent, or not the opponent, but how fast the other player will get it, as opposed to thinking it's what you need to guess. But it's basically one sentence that threw me off. Everything else I think made sense.
Okay, I try this. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you, DJam. And for everyone else, again, I say it every time DJam shows up. Please just check out DJam's games. Just go to his profile. This is a guy who makes very few games, but whenever he does, they're pretty much always smash hits. Tons of detail. The game loop is always great. The meta loop is always great. It's all awesome. So I think, yeah, exactly. Pika P. I didn't even ask him to post the profile link because I knew he would do it, and he didn't let me down. So check out his games. DJam is a walking tutorial in game design.
Thanks.
All right.
I can see you are truly blushing, but anyway.
He's also very humble. That's the thing. That's how you know it's true talent. He doesn't even flex.
True. Learn from him, Alex.
Exactly. Yeah.
There, I'll flex for him.
You know, on the one hand, I walked into that one, but on the other hand, I'm not mad at it because it's true. All right. Let's see. So, who do we want to do next? I think it was great that we played a non-student game, but unfortunately, we picked a DJam game. DJam's not a student because he's the teacher. So, who's like a non-student but not DJam? That's true. Erica, quick with the reflexes. You know what? Because she is just so intent on us playing her game. Let's do it. We'll do Erica, and then we'll do a couple more non-students, and then maybe we'll do a couple more of each. How about that?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Actually, wait a second. Is Erica's game even in the queue?
I don't see it.
Erica?
Sorry, Erica. Missed your chance.
Skipped. Next.
No, I'm kidding. So, let's see. Erica, just normally we want your games in the submit your game channel, guys, but Erica, just give me the link here and we'll let you join the stage. It was third, was it? I didn't see it. Let me see. Oh, here it is. No, it was. You're right. Sorry, Erica. I see it now. Okay, let's throw this in here. This is Astra's Gauntlet. Oh, that's right. I did play this game. This is a very, very interesting. Sorry, let me start over. It's a very interesting set of kind of game mechanics. So I'm in this. You guys are seeing this, right? Yeah, I'm in this little rectangular thing, and I am dodging all this stuff, and then it says, "What will you do?" Now, I've played this game before, by the way, so I'll play the game, but Monvi and Toxic and Jaeger, anyone else, why don't you guys just think out loud as you're watching me play? I'm curious what you guys think.
Well, I played this game already. This has serious Undertale undernotes. But this is done by LLM, correct, Erica?
Yeah, that's
LLM
correct.
game? Yeah, so the LLM part is going to be the upper part, right, where Astrobite is taunting or talking.
Okay, Monvi, what do you think? You're new to this, right? What is your first impressions?
Can you replay this again?
Let's do it. Okay. No, this is actually a good idea. So I'm loosely familiar with Undertale, but just enough that I recognize it visually, but I've never really played it. So this is actually pretty new to me also. So the part that I definitely get, although it took a second the first time, is that I represent the heart character, and my job is to avoid all this stuff at first. And then here we are, Monvi, with some kind of a menu screen. What do you think?
What will I do? What?
I'm confused on all the buttons except for the first button, which is fight. So I would just click the fight button and continue on and not really understand what the other buttons are for. So I think a little bit of an onboarding would probably do well as usual.
Was that supposed to what?
It said, was that supposed to hurt? ... It did. Which I think was LLM generated text, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're in round 2 or whatever, phase 1 of 2. Dodging some stuff. Okay, now what, Monvi? What do you think?
Massey!
Okay.
I don't know what it'll do. I'm still very I'm a bit confused about this game. So
Was that like
I'm at
give up?
what?
I said, was that give up the mercy button?
Oh, yeah. Was it give up? I don't know. I just wanted to click it because I was curious to see what it'll do.
Okay. What about these? Let's do
I
act.
mean, like what happened? Like when I clicked, like when you clicked mercy, what happened? I didn't see anything happening.
Okay, so I played through it a little bit, but I am in the same camp as Manvi, which is, like I said, I visually recognize the kind of Undertale look, sort of, but I really have no idea what the details are or what all the game mechanics are. So I can say pretty honestly that I'm sort of clicking stuff at random and I'm just sort of like adapting and kind of doing what I think I'm being told to do. I think I nailed that. But beyond, I don't really get the big picture. So let's tie it back to our lesson from today. I would say, first of all, the game seems to have multiple core mechanics. Like what I'm doing right now feels like the most central kind of core mechanic, but then as soon as I'm done with this, I know that I have to like kind of choose an item from this menu, blah, blah, blah. And so then there's also some kind of a meta because you can see there's all these stats, level 1, attack, defense. There's gold apparently that I'm collecting. So I know there's some kind of a meta loop. But when I think about how it all ties together, just going by what I'm seeing in this game, it's not clear to me what the connection is. How do you feel about it, Manvi?
I agree with your statement.
Okay. So that's our first impression. Erica, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I was trying to like, I guess like Toxic gave me some advice and try to fix things. So I did try to fix up some of the bugs, but I guess the only thing I didn't include was the tutorial. But I did try to make like Undertale, and with Undertale they have the buttons where they have attack, item, mercy, and then they have that shop. So I tried to make it similar to that.
Well, how about this? Let's back up a little bit, Erica. What put this idea in your head in the first place? What made you start working on this game?
I guess I was coming up with a few LLM games. So the first one was the cookie game, then it was a shooter game, then I wanted to try an Undertale game. So the Undertale game was one of the interesting ones where the LLM seemed to be working. So I guess I wanted to try something interesting. So at first it gave me random bosses, and then I didn't want to change the name up, so I kept putting Astra for all of them. So now we're fighting Astra. So I guess that was my idea.
Okay. And if do you feel like you could add, onboarding tutorial steps, whatever, that would just kind of guide the player through, or like, do you think that would be enough to? Because to me, I feel like when I'm in a given game mode, like like I get this tap to attack, I guess, and then when I get into this, oh, okay, so this whole thing was one big boss fight. Okay, I kind of get that. But oh, look at this, and wow, now I'm in a totally different mode. Okay, cool. This is like so old school RPG looking. It's really cool. I like that. Okay. No, exit. Okay. So I think a lot of this stuff. Wait, what? Can I not exit?
What happened? Wait, try to go down.
Oh, it's making you click one above or something.
Oh, so you can't exit.
Oh, no, I can, but it's offset. I was able, if I clicked below it, then I exited. Okay. Anyway, what I was gonna say is like once I'm in this where I'm like dodging stuff, I basically get this. Like I kind of understand what to do. It doesn't require a ton of hand holding. Although at one point it said blue, stay still. It looks like the mini game kind of changes, and it's not super clear what I'm supposed to. I just keep dodging everything. I don't know if I'm supposed to do something differently. But I definitely think that what I don't have a sense of is like how does this all connect, right? Like the individual things I do, I kind of get, but I don't get how they relate to each other. I think that's my biggest missing piece.
So what do you recommend? I guess just having like those tutorials I usually do to explain what to do, because I know each mini game they tell you what to do, but I guess you didn't really see see
I
what's happened.
think I think that you have a very, very, very clear, popular game that a lot of people can know what it is. I think that you could probably just go play Undertale and get a kind of a gist for how they introduce the game to the player, because I think this is close to a carbon copy as Astro's going to get. So maybe just take the inspiration straight from the
Mhm.
actual game and see how they introduce the game. Because looking at screenshots, your game button for button almost looks exactly like the game. So you could explain it exactly how the game does, or at least inspired, or even do it your own way if you want to give
Mhm.
it your own twist.
That makes a lot of sense. I guess either play the game or at least watch how like I guess how they introduce like I guess the gameplay itself. Because I don't want to do any of the exploring. Because I know Undertale has a lot of that exploring. I just want to do like I guess the fightings and maybe some of the other stuff like the shop and stuff like that.
Yeah. The thing about basing it so closely on an existing game is it kind of cuts both ways. On the one hand, it means anyone that's played the game may already understand what to do, which is good. It does
Mhm.
also, though, mean that you may get too comfortable with that, and then you forget about people like me. Like I know what Undertale is, but I've never actually played it myself, so I needed a lot of help. So it means that if you're trying to assume that people know the game, anyone that doesn't know the game is totally left out. The other problem is that if someone does play Undertale, and you mentioned there's already some differences, anything that's different could be extra confusing to the people that do know the game because they were expecting
Mm.
everything to match. And if something doesn't match, then they might be as confused as someone else is. So yeah, I definitely think that the most important thing here is to provide just enough context. There's two things I want to know. I want to know, first of all, like what I'm doing overall. Like it wasn't clear to me that all of this was one big connected boss fight. I kind of got that impression, but it could have been like crystal clear so that every step I take is towards a goal. So that'd be one thing that I'd like to know more. And then each one, like for instance, what will you do? It's really not clear to me what these options mean. Fight, I kind of get, kind of goes back, but like what is the difference between fight and
Mhm.
act? Not
Could I maybe
clear.
change the buttons to make it more clear where I have fight, talk, item, and run? So then I may
Well,
not need
it's
so much of an onboarding.
sure. It's definitely, I mean, that's definitely a very important step for sure. But even then, it's like, yeah, I guess that would work. The reason I was hesitating is slightly is because there still may be a question of like, well, why would I run? Or why would I, you know what I mean? Like there should be
I
some
guess
sense,
mercy then probably better than running.
but does mercy mean I let the boss win, or does the mercy mean I don't keep fighting the boss?
I think it means you give up.
Yeah, I think then in that, honestly, I'd say something like give up or something,
Mhm.
you know? Um, yeah, something like that. So, and it could also be that the first time you get to the screen, these all pop up one at a time with like a very short
Mhm.
explanation, and then you never see it again. Like it's just the first time. That's a possibility. So there's
Okay.
a few different ways to go. And as always, you don't want to overload it with tutorials and explanation, but I do think this is the kind of game where it's just quirky enough where if you're not familiar with it, you might be very confused because there's a lot of different things all happening at once, and the way they connect is not crystal clear.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Hopefully, I have enough time to finish it because we only have 1 day left.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think it looks like you've got the core gameplay here. So I think your main objective, I'm guessing, left is just explanations of stuff, right?
Yeah, I think so. But the LLM is working, right? Because that's what I've been having a lot of issues with. Like sometimes I have trouble finding out if my LLM is working or not, or if it
The
counts as
big,
LLM.
the biggest question is, are you using the LLM in a way where the LLM itself is actually driving the game, or is the LLM just providing custom dialogue when it's necessary?
How do you tell the difference?
Well, what I mean is, like, are you relying on the LLM to actually control how the game unfolds, or do you just tell the LLM, "Hey, I need some text, I need some dialogue"? The reason I'm
Oh,
asking is
okay.
because if all the LLM is doing is just putting some flavor on the text, that's very safe because it can't. The worst case scenario is you just get bad text from the LLM. But other games, the LLM is actually part of what drives the game, and then if the LLM misbehaves, the whole game breaks, right? So that's the
Mhm.
difference. And I'm guessing in this case, this is more the former. It's just the LLM giving you text, right?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Mostly text, but I guess once you get to like certain parts, he starts to change a little bit. But I haven't made him too much where he like messes with the game, like my cookie one, where he gets angry and starts switching everything up.
Got it. I see. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's a challenge for everybody. So if you do run into the wall where you just cannot fix it, that's part of why we did this experiment, and then that feedback from you will be really useful for us to try to make this better.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I guess I'll give you my feedback when you give us like a survey or some document to fill out because I had some issues where like the LLM would freeze a lot too.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. No, I'll follow up with all you guys afterwards to get your thoughts on the experience.
All right.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing, Erica. I think next up we have got let's see, what do you guys? Oh, I guess we're doing more non-Astro Academy. We'll do one more non-Astro Academy student game. What does everyone think?
How much time do we have left? And how many more
I'll
can we
go
fit
for at
in?
least another. I'll go at least another 15. Go to
Okay.
12:30.
So we have a couple of people in chat that are a part of Academy that are still wanting their stuff done, and
Maybe we should do that.
I think that we should probably do them. I don't want them to be discouraged. I
Yeah,
can
you're right.
always, or Friday, our top traders can always get feedback from us then.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so so we go back. Maybe we go back to the document. We didn't do everyone here, so we've still got. Yeah, we've got 2
So
more.
for us, let's get him done. Yeah, for sure. And do
You
we have
are up,
Samsung again?
Faraz.
I see Samsung again in there.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. We'll check out in a second. Coliseum Clash, action RPG retro style. All right, let's see.
Oh, I played
Ooh,
this.
beautiful title screen.
This
Okay,
is-
tap system.
This is
Say that.
this is very pretty, pretty UI
Yeah.
game. I once you get into it, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. But this is a
Okay.
cool game. This is Size and Scale Jam, correct?
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, good. I'll keep that in mind.
Yep.
Welcome, Faraz. Okay, so Faraz, playtesting rules. I'm going to playtest for a little bit, and during my first session, you can't answer any of my questions because I got to figure it out on my own. And you can judge whether your game makes sense to people, and then after that, you can walk us through your thoughts and all that stuff. Make sense?
Yep. Got it.
Great. Okay, and just in case, I will unmute. Welcome, son. I have been waiting for you. Let's battle to test your skills. I am ready. Wow, this is awesome. Son, you have been gifted with the shrink ability. It will allow you to move quicker but weakens your attacks. All right, let's do it. Use the joystick or WSD to move. Okay. Oh man, this is awesome. Okay, I'll do that. Wow. I love the music. This is adding so much. Wow.
Yes.
This is incredible. Okay, level up, training shop, business industry are unlocked. By the way, everybody, this is a great example of how you introduce game features later on. So notice, I will unmute this. Notice, or mute it rather, notice that this was not the loading screen. I didn't see this first. It dropped me into the game, I had some fun, and then now it unlocks the options, which is really, really smart. I wish more games would do it, but this is a great example. So let's see, I'll buy something maybe. Do I have any money? No, not enough yet. Okay. Wow, there's also a whole business thing. I guess I'll buy a bakery in the middle of fighting. Okay, let's do it. Oh, and there's different. Wow, I did arena fight. Let's see what street fight is. Oh, I see. It's kind of the same idea, but a lot of bookshops. Okay. So the game itself, I think, is the only thing I'd like to see a little bit more development of. So the overall experience, the look and the feel, everything is gorgeous. And the game is fun too. But ooh, wow, look at that. Okay, that escalated. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's really good. I'm already on I'm facing a different enemy, which is really cool. I'm seeing a lot of variety. I love all the little effects, like the dust clouds that follow. And it's got a cool retro boss kind of vibe. Like there's a lot of old 8-bit, 16-bit games that have this kind of style. And I don't know if I have any real feedback. When I play it though, it might feel just the slightest bit sluggish. And I'm playing on desktop, which is always a little bit different. That also felt like that was a little bit too easy for me to lose, but maybe that's just on me. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't have really specific feedback, but I feel like there could be a little bit more responsiveness that I would like. But that's about it. I think really everything else is great. So why don't we open it up? And Toxic, give me your thoughts, and then we'll let Faraz explain.
My thoughts are, well, originally he did not get to play into the fun within the first 5 to 15 seconds, and he actually did present them with an entire screen of a confusing menu. So he actually took the feedback and did exactly what we will say about any game that presents the player with a lot of information before the game starts.
So you're telling me that Professor Toxic intervened and made sure that he got the first time experience to be optimized?
I mean, I don't want to take all the credit here because he's the one that took the feedback and actually, did it. But that was my suggestion, yes, and I think that
That
he
is
did it
awesome.
very well.
Fantastic. Okay, so Toxic, you said exactly the right thing. That's great. I mean, having not played the original, I can imagine. I definitely think it's the right move. Okay, Faraz, you're up. Let us know, walk us through your creation process and everything you think about making the game.
Yep. So I had that idea about this game. Like, so I wanted to create the Souls-like game and wanted to have so many things to do in this game. That's why I created this kind of game. And also, I wanted to think about the size and skill gem as well. So therefore, I have added one feature so user can easily evade the attack of boss using the shrink ability. So and then he can do the great damage by toggling it again and damaging, and then again shifting and dodging attack. Yeah.
That's a really fun idea. I think that's a really novel mechanic. It's also kind of fun to try to beat the boss in just shrink mode. So yeah, I love
but
that
I
idea.
reduced the damage in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
weak
no, I
mode.
know.
Sorry,
It's
in
just
the shrink mode.
kind of
Yeah.
a fun challenge. Oh, look at that. I know you can actually still attack when you're on.
Yeah.
Kinda funny. Cool. No, like I
And
said, it looks great. The visuals are amazing. You've done a really good job of setting a style here. It's retro, but it's still very lush and very colorful. Um,
yeah.
so where did this idea come from for having so many other kinds of gameplay? Like I bought a bakery in between battles, which I was not expecting.
Yeah, so this was like I had the game thought of, like I was creating a game, a Souls like game. So in that I wanted to add some more things to get money and everything. That's why I added a business type of thing, so user can easily get a passive income while he is playing some game, defeating the boss or something. So he can heal himself in the hospital when he get damaged, like as you are going into the arena again and again, but you only have one heart, so you can heal in the hospital, and then you can come up with the full health. And I will say, like Toxic and Pikapi reviewed my game, and they told me to add, like throw the player directly into the game first instead of showing the whole bunch of screen. Otherwise I have unlocked so many buttons, but it was a lot of information for the new player. So that's why I used their ideas and directly throw the person to start with the game with the easier boss.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think the only thing now that I think about it that does, maybe this is like actual feedback and not just thinking out loud, is I feel like the first boss I was fighting and now the Minotaur, there's like a huge jump in difficulty. Like I feel like it goes way too hard, too fast. Like I like that I'm fighting a Minotaur soon because it's variety, but it's so much stronger than the first boss that I feel like this should be like 5 bosses ahead. Do you know what I mean?
So I think he had mentioned Souls-like, and
Yeah.
anybody who knows what Souls-like means, it means extreme punishment.
Yeah.
So I think that Alex is correct. I think maybe you should pace it out, even though you're going for a Souls-like thing. I think at the end of the day, we got to keep in mind that the people are playing in this is going to be casual, and so if you
That's
do
right.
want it to be successful, I think you do need to, slightly scale it up a little bit slower.
Yeah,
So
and that's a
I
really
did
good point. Like, oh, sorry, Faraz, go ahead.
Yeah, so for like making the game balanced, I did add the quest in which the user gets a lot of money, so he can buy some weapons in the shop to beat Minotaur.
I know, but I mean, I've had a
S-
few fights. I'm still only at 200. I mean,
no,
I'm
you
not
can
playing
go into the
hardcore.
quest and claim the money. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so then I would definitely make this more prominent because this was not clear to me that this was here. So that's great. That's a cool option, but I wouldn't have guessed that I could have done a quick upgrade path this way. But now let's try it while we're at it. Okay, so I got some cool new weapons. Oh, do I have to equip those? I probably do. I wonder if I can. No, I can't. Okay,
Also, I
let's
think
see.
you can heal too at the shop, so you don't start out with 1 health.
Oh, I keep forgetting. That's why. Yeah, that's why I was getting killed so easily. Okay, well, let's see. I'll claim some free money here, and then I will spend it on my health. All right, cool. Let's see. Then inventory. So I'll do this. I'll equip this guy. Can I do both? No. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see, is this? It definitely does more damage, not that much, but
How did you do the animation for the feet? Did you like cut off the bottom of his legs and just animate his feet, or how did you do that?
It's just a 3 frames animation, so like only
Okay.
3 images, and the Astro AI is not doing great work, so I used Gemini to create images, and then I load them up, and I use Photoshop to tweak to make them at the same scale and do some other stuff.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
wow.
hate it. I think it looks cool, actually. It's almost like Flintstones.
Yeah.
Toxic, if they don't know the Pyramid Show, they don't know Flintstones.
I'm sorry, I'm old.
Yeah, I do know Flintstone. I watched so many
I
movies.
stand
Yeah.
corrected. I stand corrected. Wait, yes, I got him. Okay, so I
Cool.
really do like this game, and you know what I would my main recommendation, honestly, I think you can maybe get away with the really fast escalating boss difficulty, but I would make it much clearer how you can harvest all this extra money and you can do all this extra upgrades. Like that was the biggest thing I was missing. I think if that were clearer, that would make a big change. But other than that, I mean, the game looks beautiful. You've added a ton of great stuff. Toxic, I think, gave you some really good feedback on the user experience at first. Wow, look at that. But other than that, I think it's great. I think it's really good.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Yeah,
And
great
the whole
job,
team.
man. Of course. All right. Toxic, how about you? I guess you haven't done any playtesting. Why don't you play one and we'll tag team it?
Sure. What is the next one up? What are we doing? Are we going to more Academy? Are we doing?
Pico, where are we? Keep us oriented because we are Toxic is adopting my traits of having no idea what's going on, which is a worrying sign.
I know it's somewhere. It was the other Samsung game.
Oh, Belittle. Okay. I guess that. Look, I do what Pika tells me, so maybe that's what we do.
That's what I do too. So there we are.
Thumbnail. It's cool. That's for sure.
All right, Dungeon Master awaits. Everything that happens in this game. Are you able to see my screen? Yeah.
You know what? No, I still can't. It's still like Discord is still loading. Do you want to try sharing again?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Great.
All right, the Dungeon Master awaits. Everything that happens in this game, every interaction, every consequence, every twist of fate is driven by and determined by a living AI Dungeon Master. See, I had this idea too. I'm wondering how you implemented it here. No two journeys are alike. Oh, I think I played this.
Always. Toxic has always played it.
So I question this loading time right here because it's pretty long for me. I'm curious how long that would be on mobile devices. All right, when the bell of ages rings, the dead will outnumber the living a fortnight. The Lich Chorister has waited, blah 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 blah.
Wait, is this game using LLMs also?
Yeah, I think that's all LLM right there.
Okay, so I guess that's part of what the delay is.
Let me.
Got it. So yeah, there's LLM element, an LL element. Ooh, the zoom is cool.
All right. A shadow demon blocks your path. Armor class 9, damage D4 plus 0. So 4-sided dice plus 0, and I don't know what CR means. Okay. So this is like a back and forth. I hit you, you hit me, and then I decide. So I think the flee button is kind of what Erica was going for in her other game. Maybe that might better describe it. I know exactly what flee is. So I think I need a little bit of feedback here, a little bit more feedback when I'm fighting, going back and forth. I'm playing with audio on. I don't really seem to have any sound effects. I'm assuming that you probably started this with 0 audio. So the White Lord blocks your path. So feel free to talk over me, Alex. I'm afraid to close the game down because of my push to talk button.
Yeah, sorry. I'm following along too. I'm not the best at evaluating games like this because I've just never gotten that into like turn-based kind of D&D style combat. But for what it is, like what I love about it is there's a lot of stuff that's really, really well done. I mentioned like I love the zoom in and out effect. That's really cool. The animation is great. It's got a very cute kind of voxel style, but it's flexible. Like a lot of good things are happening. I see a lot of movement. I do agree though that I think, like you said, I kind of want to, like say repeat what you said about the feedback. I mostly understood what you were getting at, but I want you to repeat.
Well, the feedback for me, it's more of a visual feedback in combat. You got a little bit of screen shake, you got a little bit of the animation, but I'm feeling a little bit of it's too simple for me, and so I think I either need like some magical effects, some sound effects. But this is a belittle game. I'm pretty sure this is just starting out, so I think I'm probably just saying what he already knows. I'm kind of confused on what my objective is right now, other than just kind of going through and doing battle. I see this cool thing behind him, and I'm hoping here at the end of this battle I can interact with it.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like a very usable feature.
Okay. Touching the sarcophagus awakens something hungry.
So this, by the way, I love this idea that as you're exploring in an otherwise straightforward RPG game, you have these moments of like LLM-driven dialogue and story. That's really cool. And wow, and look at this. So speaking of progression and variety, very quickly, you are now in a different environment, which is great. That, I think, is an awesome sign.
So is the DM actually playing these characters, or is he... Oh, so he is actually building the game as you go along.
That's pretty cool. High Quality says, I think the battles take too long. I mean, this is subjective. Everyone's going to have a different level of interest in battles, but I feel like if I were playing this, I would probably feel the same way. But again, I'm not the target audience. What do you think, Toxic?
I think that you need an auto battle button and allow the player to either decide if he wants to auto battle when he goes into combat or if he wants to just continue to click. Because if I'm really overpowered and I'm farming these guys, I want to just go through and click the auto button and just biff bop blink bump, done. But if I'm fighting with, say, a boss, I don't want it to auto battle. I want to be able to take my time and plan out my attack. So I think it could be a 50-50 thing there. Some people might enjoy it. Some people might think it's a little monotonous. But, I mean, above all, I think this is cool. I'm hoping that soon I'm going to see a boss battle of some kind here. But I definitely do want an auto button here. Oh, press I. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Oh, okay. Well, that would make sense. Is that like an inventory or... I also think the enemy takes a little bit longer to attack. I'm not sure if that's like because of the LLM.
I agree with that too. I feel like that felt sluggish to me.
So so we got a character sheet, which I am in love with these things. I am a hardcore RPGer and a roguelike game, so this is actually right up my alley. So let's see. Does each piece of gear? Okay, so this is going to improve my attack bonus to 2. Over here we got our stat sheet and head, armor, shield, weapons, and boots, and of course our inventory space. That's a cool little touch. I think that's necessary in these games. So yes, I'm starting to get on the whole train with this is a little bit too slow. I did equip, didn't I?
Yeah, you know what I think is missing? You were talking about visual feedback. I think the thing I would like to see the most is some kind of movement. Like one of the things I always suggest is when you hit an enemy or an enemy hits you, there's like that recoil or that kickback. If you get pushed back and then you move back to your spot, like inertia in the direction of the attack, I think that always feels really satisfying. So like Toxic mentioned, you're already doing a lot of the right stuff. The screen flashes, you got to shake some particles. That's really good. But I do think that you have some room here, especially because it's isometric. You're on a grid, that maybe you could have things kind of actually bounce back away from the attack and then settle back into place. It would just make everything feel very real.
So I think you should have already presented the player with a boss, something different than, because I feel like I've killed the same character multiple times and I haven't seen anything else new. And I'm sure this is probably earlier in development, but I would
It's also-
definitely like to see a variety of different characters, maybe leading up, and then maybe fight the very first boss who may not be that hard within the first 5 minutes of gameplay.
Good
Maybe
idea.
fight this guy, kill this guy in this room, enter the room, kill 2 more guys, and then boom, boss spawns. And then you can kind of continue your your progression after that, however you want to extend it out. But I think that would get the player into the game, engaged, and then get to the boss before he has decided to go play something else to keep them engaged. At least in
What
my
Beal
opinion.
was saying though is it sounds like the LLM is doing a lot in this game. Like it's definitely and be a little. Please feel free to share more details because this is great. But it's more than just dialogue. It sounds like the LLM is playing a big role in kind of constructing the whole world, which I think is awesome. I love all the ambition there. That's great, and it seems like it's working actually. I mean, a lot of people have had issues with like stability with the LLM, but this actually seems like it's working pretty well. So and we have issues with speed and rhythm and all that, but functionally, it seems like it's pretty much there.
Well, what I also noticed is that he's spaced out his interactions with the LLM in his game. And so it's not the LLM isn't every 2 seconds is trying to do something or say something. Instead, he's spaced them out. So where, I complete a fight, the boss says something or the dungeon master says something, and then you don't hear from him for a moment. But then you enter into a room and then it says DM is thinking. So you know that the DM's actually doing something, but the calls aren't quite as much as they normally would be, say, on a typing or an instant like text style game. So I like the way you implemented it here. I think it's a little ingenious, honestly. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. All right, so I think any other feedback, Toxic, or have we covered? I think we've covered quite a bit on this, right?
Yeah, I think we're good. And Beelittle knows that I'll always give him more afterwards.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been great, everybody. I think we went extra long on this one. We are going to continue to work on the balance. I hope people appreciated that it was not all Astro Academy students today. I know we always want to get through more games than we do. We're always trying, but there's a balance. You want to also provide really good feedback, so that takes time. But as always, we appreciate you guys bearing with us. The games are great. Your input was really awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. A bunch of you guys joined the stage too, which we always really like. So thanks to Samson and Faraz and Ro and a lot of good people. Okay, so we will be back tomorrow. Astro Academy continues through next week. So please keep going through the lessons. Please keep working on the exercises. And most importantly, just work on your games. Your Astro Academy game is ultimately the point of the course. Yeah, and be little, we're going to keep working on the balance. This is all a work in progress, and your feedback is super helpful, as always. Cool, and thanks, as always, to DJam for showing up, one of our resident experts. And thank you to Pika for keeping Toxic, me, Nox, and everyone on track.
Yeah, thanks, Pika.
All right. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Peace out. Have a good
Bye.
day out. All right, Ashif, I'm happy to do your game, bud. Jump down into the lounge for me. Let me take a little breather, and we'll get to your game.